Hello and welcome to this edition of UCentral News. I'm Eden Jones.
And I'm Jackson Rowbottom.
We start with some very impactful news out of the Oklahoma House today. A ban on abortions, similar to the new Texas law passed through Oklahoma's House late yesterday. This bill would prohibit doctors from performing abortions in the state of Oklahoma.
That's right. And UCentral's Shannon Schwa has the information you need regarding this development.
Let's see what he had to say at the Capitol.
The Oklahoma House passed a bill yesterday that prohibits doctors from carrying out abortions in the state. The ban will be enforced through private civil actions, similar to the recent law in Texas, which has seen a drastic reduction in abortions in that state. The Texas law states that any private citizen will receive at least $10,000 if they bring a successful lawsuit against anyone who performed or helped a woman obtain an abortion. This measure is currently on its way to the Senate. Reporting from the Capitol, I'm Shannon Chua, UCentral News.
Thank you, Shannon. The first woman U.S. Secretary of State has died. Madeleine Albright helped steer Western foreign policy after the Cold War. Albright served under the Clinton administration and helped in the expansion of NATO. She was 84 years old.
And it has definitely been one of the more windy days on campus.
That's right. It has been windy and a little bit colder, but CJ is going to have more with the major changes. CJ, what can we expect for weather this week?
Well, that's right, Jackson. It definitely has been a very windy day up here on UCO campus. And with that storm system that we had for the past couple of days, rain wasn't the only thing that it brought with it. It also brought some colder temperatures and some more wind with it as well. As you can see, sitting here in Edmond at about 53 degrees under breezy conditions, winds blowing northwest at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. However, we could see some wind gusts get up to the 35 and 40 mile per hour range. So it is definitely a very gusty, very brutal day here in Edmond, Oklahoma. If you have any loose articles that you're walking with when you're outside today, make sure that you secure those down because they will blow away. I mean, even I was walking outside today and I'm a pretty thick boy and it was blowing me around a bunch. So make sure that if you're outside today that you're taking those precautions, you're making sure that you're not losing anything blowing out in the wind. Let's take a look at our weather headlines coming up for this week. More wind is in effect for the next couple of days going into the weekend, so the wind is going to stick around for a couple of days, as well as the colder temperatures. However, going into the weekend, we are going to see some warmer temperatures start to make its way around the state of Oklahoma as that spring weather starts to show itself around here. But with those winds, also, we have a higher allergy index as well, so that pollen count's going pretty crazy. So make sure you take your Claritin or your Dayquil if you have some pretty severe allergies. Guys, that's all I have for weather right now. Back to Patrick and Eden at the desk.
Thank you, CJ. 6 teenage students have been killed in a 2-vehicle collision in southern Oklahoma. The Oklahoma State Highway Patrol said on Tuesday, and the students were in the vehicle that collided with a rock hauler semi-truck around 12:30 p.m. in Tishomingo, a rural city of about 3,000, approximately 100 miles southeast of OKC, according to Oklahoma Highway Patrol spokesperson Sarah Stewart. The students were traveling eastbound on Oklahoma 22 when their vehicle was struck by the semi that was approaching from the east on US 377. And this was said by Shelby Humphrey, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper.
And now for an update on the fighting in Ukraine. Ukrainian forces said that a counterattack northwest of Kyiv has seemed to have made some headway, and they have regained control of Makariv, a town west of the capital. However, Russian forces have commandeered a convoy of 11 buses which were taken to an undisclosed location. The Ukrainian government said that these buses, along with their drivers and emergency workers inside them, were also taken by the Russian forces.
Yes, and many Ukrainians continue to flood into Poland and the nearby countries seeking refuge. Here's a story on what Ukrainians are taking with them.
Life changed in an instant for these families, forced to flee their homes as Russian troops invaded. But what do you take with you as you run? What is your most precious possession? For 11-year-old Victoria, it's her beloved teddy bear. She's outgrown him, but he's just the right size for her little sister.
Oh, it's for Valeria. This is her favorite toy, is her bear.
It was mine and now it's hers, she tells me. When she's crying a lot, she cuddles him at night. Tatiana packed as the sound of explosions grew closer and closer to her family's home in Kyiv.
What is the most precious thing you took?
This is me and my father.
When I was gathering my stuff, I knew I needed to take this, she tells me. It's the only album with my dad's pictures in it. Her father died when she was 6, but pictures of his smile bring comfort. I knew the photo album would make me feel calmer. 7-year-old Milana rushes to grab her favorite thing. It's easy to see why she loves it. Because there are animals in it and dogs, and you can count. Here is 6, here is 4. Denise was given just 10 minutes to leave his university dorm, but he knew what to grab. My sunglasses, I adore them, he tells me. They make me look cool like Kurt Cobain.
Put on the sunglasses for me, please. How do you feel now that you have the sunglasses on?
It makes me feel like everything is going to be fine, he says, that we will win, and I will walk on the streets of Kyiv under a peaceful sky again. A dream shared by the many victims of this senseless war. Salma Abdulaziz, CNN, Lviv.
And the ongoing coverage of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's Senate hearings continue today. President Biden's Supreme Court nominee faced her third day of hearings.
My parents moved to Washington, D.C. because this is where it all started for them in terms of having new freedoms. And I was born here on that hope and dream. I was born here with an African name that my parents gave me to demonstrate their pride in who they were and their pride and hope in what I could be.
If confirmed, Jackson will replace Justice Stephen Breyer and be the nation's first black woman to serve on the highest court.
Yes, and President Neohold Ravikumar will host a budget forum for the campus and for the campus community from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Thursday, March 24th via Zoom. The forum will include a presentation by the president, followed by a Q&A session. Questions can be submitted via the Q&A feature in Zoom during the forum.
And 3 UCO public health majors just placed first out of 15 teams from over 8 universities in the National Case Study Competition in Health Education. The students had to identify and assess factors contributing to the health of a population and to promote overall health in all communities. The members included Mariah Contino, Avery Geist, and Michelle Romero. Congratulations to you all.
Congratulations indeed. And UCO Talent Management, in coordination with the Professional Diversity Network, is working to increase recruitment efforts in diverse populations. The Professional Diversity Network is a recruiting platform that's focused on pairing job seekers with organizations. This is big news for a new platform on campus.
That's right, and UCO Health Promotion is accepting peer health leader applications. Participants will build leadership skills, network with professionals, promote a healthy campus, and impact the UCO community through prevention efforts. Applications will be open until April 22nd, and for further questions, email Health Promotion.
That's right, and when we come back, Garrett is going to have a little bit of an update on fast food prices, and CJ will be bringing us another segment on weather. Don't go anywhere.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at SheCanSTEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit Travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back. CJ, what can we expect as far as the weather?
Well, thanks, Eden. Well, it has been a definitely horrid past couple of days here in Oklahoma with all that rain and gloom and doom. However, we have seen the rain start to make its way out of the state, but with that rain, it also brought some colder temperatures and some wind with it as well. So let's take a look at our weather headlines coming up for this week. Some more wind in the forecast over the next couple of days going into the weekend. That wind's going to stick around just for a little bit. However, going into this weekend, we are going to see some warmer weather start to make its way out as that springtime weather starts to emerge here in Oklahoma. And we're also going to see some higher allergy indexes as well with that pollen count starting to rise and that wind carrying it all over the state. Let's go ahead and take a look at current conditions around the state as of now. As you can see, pretty uniform around the state, sitting in about mid-40s to mid-50s. Ardmore in the south being the highest, about 58. Oklahoma City sitting at about 50 degrees. Guymon, 47. So all in all, not a terrible feeling day here in Oklahoma. However, it is not the air temperature that we're so concerned about. It's that wind that we're pretty much concerned about. Let's take a look at tonight's forecast here in Edmond. That wind's going to stick around. However, it is going to die down just a little bit. The low is going to be 36 under partly cloudy skies. So all in all, not a too terribly cold night here in Oklahoma. The humidity is going to stay relatively the same at about 30. However, we don't have a chance for rain tonight. So all we have to worry about tonight would be that wind and those gusts of wind that come with it. Let's take a look at tonight's lows around the state. And as you can see, pretty much a lot of the same around the state as that colder weather is going to stick around from that storm front that moved through Oklahoma. Guymon sitting at about 25 degrees, Oklahoma City 37, Idabel in the south sitting at about 35. So definitely going to be a little bit cold tonight, a little bit chilly, especially with that wind chill as well. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's highs. As you can see right over here, that's where you're going to see that warmer air start to make its way up. It's going to make its way down from Mexico and up into Oklahoma. As you can see over there in Guymon, sitting at a 69-degree high, out to 68. And the rest of the state sitting at about mid-60s, high 50s. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for tomorrow here in Edmond. 7 a.m. it's going to be 35 degrees, pretty breezy out there, so make sure you want to grab a coat or something just to cover up because it is going to be pretty cold tomorrow morning. But we are going to see that temperature make its way up throughout the day going into noon, sitting at about 50 degrees under sunny skies. And then going into 7 p.m., that temperature is going to keep continuing to rise all day, sitting at 59 degrees. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast now. And I know a lot of you are very happy to see that on that side, on that right side of your screen, those 80-degree temperatures that are coming next week. However, we do have to sit through a couple of cold days here in Oklahoma. So today and tomorrow are going to remain cold. However, going into the weekend, that temperature is going to start to steadily rise, and we're going to start to see some more sun and some more warmth here in Oklahoma. So it's definitely going to start feeling very nice around here. Guys, that's all I have for weather right now. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you very much, CJ. And students continue to face inflation from the pump to even fast food joints. UCentral's Garrett Hulsworth has the story.
Over the past few years, the restaurant industry, much like college students, has been forced to adapt. Because of COVID, typically new policies were adopted in restaurants that made them faster and more efficient, but because of demand, they've also become more expensive.
You know, traditional sit-in dining, that the demand fell through the floor on that. You know, suddenly we weren't going to these restaurants. So they probably saw an increase in customers that they could not have expected. You had people who were going to Sonic's and McDonald's simply because it was drive-through, simply because the person-to-person contact was just so limited.
However, we've seen prices rise year after year, even before COVID. So are we just seeing instances of inflation?
So when I teach economics, when I talk about inflation, the idea that comes to me is the value, not the dollar not having value. That's not what we're seeing. The dollar has exactly as much value as it has ever had. It's just that we've had an increase in prices because there have been these supply disruptions.
But there's no disrupting a hungry college kid's stomach. With the amount of fast food they consume, how does this directly affect them?
You can almost think of college students as like fixed income folks. It's the same concern we have with the elderly, is when there's price increases happening and you have a fixed income, you don't have a way to accommodate that through earning more. If you're a person who got a pay raise, then you're buffered from this. But if you're someone who's living strictly on student loans or a fixed kind of stipend, this is hurting you.
So maybe relieve that pain in your pocket for the time being. After all, things could turn around soon.
Fed doesn't expect it to last very long, is one answer. The jokey answer is that anytime you're forecasting, you either give a date or a number, but never both, right? Because then you can guarantee that you're going to be correct. I don't think that we see price increases keep going up and up and up and then falling themselves. I don't think we have the self-fulfilling, spiraling inflation.
From Edmond, with UCentral News, I'm Garrett Holsworth.
Thanks, Garrett. And coming up, we'll have the Central Music Scene with Tyler Lurch, so stay with us.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hello, and welcome to the Central Music Scene. I'm Tyler Lurch, and I've been a musician for over 10 years, and I'm also involved with the local music scene here in OKC with my own band, Tar Creek. I'll be bringing you all the latest news concerning artists, shows, releases, as well as national music news. Let's get right into it. First up for today, Harry Styles has announced his third album, Harry's House. The announcement came today with a 40-second video on YouTube, which with not much more information other than a release date, which will be May 20th of this year. What the former One Direction star has in store for us is yet to be seen, and I am very excited myself. If you'd like to pre-order the album, links are available in the announcement video. And second for today, 80s British indie band Bauhaus has released their first single in 14 years. The single is titled Drink the New Wine, and the band stated that the track was written in 2021 during the lockdown, with each band member sending audio files back and forth until the track was completed. The track somewhat reminds me of a more electronic Pink Floyd, and I would definitely give it a listen if you're looking for something a little different. If you'd like to check out the song, it's available on all streaming services right now. And third for today, Dolly Parton will still be included on the list of nominees for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is following her statement from last week on Monday, where she said, "Even though I am extremely flattered and grateful to be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't feel that I have earned that right. I really do not want votes to be split because of me, so I must respectfully bow out." Following Dolly Parton's statement, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame released their own, stating that she will still be in the running as voting has already begun for this year's nominations. However, in their own statement, they said, "We are in awe of Dolly's brilliant talent and pioneering spirit and are proud to have nominated for induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame." And finally, for today's Chicago pop-punk band Belmont will be playing at 89th Street tomorrow night. Doors will be at 6 p.m. and tickets are $18 in pre-sale and $20 at the door. That's all I have for you today. Be sure to check in next week for more music news. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, CJ, for all of that information. And when we come back, Devin Bajek is going to have more with Broncos sports. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, Bronco fans. I'm Devin Bajek, and this is your sports update. Guy Hardaker, the women's UCO basketball coach, retired today. Hardaker announced Wednesday he will retire from his post as head women's coach after a 16-year career leading the program at his alma mater. Hardaker was named coach on April 5, 2006. He was the fourth head women's basketball coach in school history. His tenure will end after 298 wins overall. Kelsey Johnson was named WBCA All-American for her 2021-2022 season. She may go down as one of the best players in UCO basketball history. During her 3 seasons as a Cho, she carved her name into eternity. She is number 3 for all-time scoring, number 4 for all-time blocks, and number 5 for all-time rebounds. She's also the only player in school history to average 60% shooting for an entire season. She did it twice. Isaiah Wade was selected to the NABC Reese's D2 All-Star Game, and the game will be played this Friday, March 25th in Evansville, Indiana. This is the first time in over 10 years UCO will be represented in the game. Wade will suit up for the West squad and perform in front of pro scouts and be given another opportunity to showcase his skills. We wish Isaiah nothing but good fortune this Friday as he takes another step towards his dreams. The baseball team is coming off a 3-game sweep of conference rival Fort Hays State. With the last game of the series, pitcher Lawson Isaacs threw a perfect game, only the 28th time it's happened at the D2 level. Isaacs usually used in a relief role, but got his third start and had the best game of his career. He was perfect. Last Sunday in the 12-0 drubbing. The Chos hope to improve on their 14-10 record as they take on the 11-14 Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs in wonderful Weatherford today. Roll Chos, get the dub. The UCO softball team is currently 25-5, 4-0 in conference play. They host a pair of conference foes Friday and Saturday against 6-21 Northwest Missouri and 11-13 Missouri Western. They also rank number 18th nationally. The Cleveland Browns traded the farm and gave the keys to the kingdom to Deshaun Watson. They gave up their 2022, 2023, and 2024 first-round picks with one 2022 fourth-round pick, one third-round pick in 2023, and a fourth-round pick in the 2024 draft. Watson will not face any criminal charges from the 22 women accusing Watson of sexual assault during massage appointments. He is not, however, clear of charges in civil court as that process is still ongoing. It is not clear if he will face a suspension from the NFL as they continue their own investigation. The Browns, knowing all this, still gave him a 5-year, $230 million contract that is fully guaranteed, a big investment with a lot of question marks. That leaves Baker Mayfield as the former franchise quarterback of the Browns as he looks for a new franchise to lead. Those destinations could be the Carolina Panthers or the Seattle Seahawks. That's going to be it for me with sports. I'm going to toss it back to Jackson and Eden at the desk.
Thanks, Devin. And coming up, we'll have one last look at the weather.
Stay tuned.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back. Edmond's Arbor Week celebration is in full swing with a variety of events that residents can partake in. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., the City of Edmond Urban Forestry will lead an interpretive tree walk at the Margaret Annis Boys Centennial Arboretum on March 26th at 10 a.m. Volunteers will have the opportunity to plant 27 trees around the Midge Park Amphitheater.
That's right, and we're going to toss it back to weather. CJ, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Jackson. Well, we got the April showers just a little early last week. However, those May flowers are going to start to make their way in next weekend. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast real quick. As you can see, today and tomorrow, we're going to stay sticking around with that cold weather, that 54 and 60 degrees. However, going into the weekend, we're going to see a sharp jump up in temperature as we start to see the mid-70s. And then eventually going into next week, we're going to see some 80-degree temperatures out there as well. So it's definitely going to be very sunny and very warm next week. It's finally starting to feel like spring around here, and I could not be more excited. Guys, that's all I have for weather right now. Back to you guys.
Thank you for that final look. And let me tell you what, those 70s and 80s look very appealing.
Yes, when I saw that 7-day forecast, I almost screamed. I was so excited.
I think we were looking at an 86er next week. Oh,
Monday,
man. Oh, yeah, that warm weather. I think spring's finally here.
I know. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed with the weather now because, you know, after spring break, you'd assume it'd be spring weather. But no, it's a little chilly out there.
Yeah, Oklahoma does funny things. And they say if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
All right, well, that's all the time we have today. I'm Eden Jones.
And I'm Jackson Rowbottom.
Have a great night.